Good evening. It's Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I'm a hypnotherapist, dream sculptor, NLP practitioner, timeline coach. And tonight I want to talk about getting off the bench and into the game. Stop practicing things in life and start understanding we're in a game all the time. And that is something I've really expanded into understanding. I hear this all the time. Practicing something. Practice spirituality. Practice your goals. Practice saying this. Practice something. But get out of the practice and realize we're in a game all the time. And it's called the game of life. It's lionize, innovate, feel, emotions. It's a gamut of everything. We go through the gamut of damn it, and we get into the gamut of grandeur. But it's letting go of being stuck in the practice field all the time. And that is where I'm really starting to understand. When I get off of the practice and off the bench and into the game, I don't get redos. I get to keep going and not redo it because it's a new event with different people. And that is where we become really stuck in things. As we keep practicing and we want to get good. We never take and look at the event and understand there's foresight in that event. We always say hindsight. Hindsight's 20/20. No, it's foresight is inevitable, inaudible, and invincible. But we're in the foresight to see and hear our life expand because we're off the bench and out of the stench of sabotage within ourselves. And that is something we really open up to understanding myself. You know, I get all frustrated and angry when things don't go my way and everything has to be perfect. And life is never going to be perfect. It's always going to have an angle, and it's going to have an angle to expand me into the outcome, not into the outcome. And that is the thing about being up and above the game. Up and above is in the game of life, and in life is sitting on the bench. And so as I sat on the bench, I always got the sliver and afraid to get off the bench because once you're in the game, things are going to occur to expand you. They're going to contract you. It's going to be good, bad, and indifferent. But the thing is you're in the game. And that is where life will forever open people up to expand of the dream and never be caught in the dream. As I move get off the bench of my own self, I'm expressing it to people because I've addressed this within myself. And that is the key. Whatever you want, how you want to expand the world is what comes from inside. And whatever you're trying to hide from people or the world is the greatest expansion for everybody in the world. Because what you hide, it chides me or chides you, however you want to say it. I like talking in first person because the only one I have a right to talk about is me. So when it chides me, in order to free me, I express it to the world to allow people to understand. People are all going through similar stuff, just different players at different times. But when I hear practice it, especially practice spirituality, our spirit is always alive and well, and the spirituality is the spiritual wellness of ourself, and that's an internal inspiration to see and feel and tour the world with a debonair flair, because it's the feeling love, appreciating internal revolutionary peace is where the world is. And when I say feel love, I ain't all hunky-dory. It's appreciate the event, to love yourself enough to expand through the event. And as you expand through an event, You energize a new gut gumption to feel that life is for me instead of think life is against me. And that's what setting on the bench is, well, I'm better than that person, or I'm better than that player. You're the stellar player of your own life. You're the best. You're the all-around. You're the MVP. You're everything. You're the VIP, the MVP, and all the percipient prowess the world is begging for you to expand the world. But when you sit on the bench and I get all into my stench and my turmoil, and I wonder why this is happening, instead of saying, how is this here to expand me, to get me out of this into the bliss, get out of the doubt into the bliss. And this is something I wrote. This is good. The universe, people, all life events are the quarterbacks of my life. They're throwing me the pass to catch my life, to score the touchdown. But I am the wise receiver of all my divine good to expand through life. Because the bright lights that I see in the end zone are my abilities showing me that I scored from it within. So as I open up to get off the bench and quit practicing, how does practicing always have an assumption that I can do better in the game? And they always practice, and in practice they get to blow the whistle and everything gets to stop and everything comes to a standstill for a little bit. In life, it's perpetual emotion. Open up my mature optimism, trend-setting internal optimistic new ways of life. Because to expand me, I expand the world. So as I open to my getting off the bench and into the game, I let go of being I stopped getting the slivers in my posterior because I opened up to catch the pass of the blessings of life. But how is it when you're practicing something, you're never focused the same way as you are when you're in the game? And the game of life, the game is just a gut audacity maturing every day, realizing that life is for me to play rather than me to sit on the bench and wait for somebody else to do it for me. And as if you look at life, and it's the helping hand everybody's looking for is nowhere, but the bliss and the gamer's grit is right at the end of your wrist. It's your grit, get and go. Put the world in your hands. Open your eyes to see the world as a playground of prosperity and peace. It opens me up to see the world in peace and prosperity. But how are we afraid of peace, and how are we afraid that we have to be in high motion all the time? Being in the game, there's breaks, there's passes, there's everything, there's three-pointers, but the game of life is living internally free every day. And that's understanding life is going to throw curveballs, messes. It's going to throw tragedy, chaos, challenges to open me up, to move me onward, upward, and inward to go forward. Because to go forward in life, it comes from right in here. It's got to be released and expressed from right here. People are the most are the greatest asset of the world, but it isn't the asset in a chattel way. It's an asset in acumen, sovereign, sapience, expanding today for everybody. The world has to open up and expand and get above the thinking mind today, because we're stuck in our thinking mind rather than our heart and soul and our inner working, our inner apparatus that shows us all the acuity, the attitude, and the determination to expand through life. And that is a word I really am I really enjoy using more every day is expand. Expand the grandeur of me. I mature every way. And that's the thing. The world has grown up, but the world has never matured out of our ancestral ways of life. Yeah, we got technology and medicine and all this other stuff, but our day-to-day activities, we still mirror our ancestors in a lot of ways. And when you get off the bench and into the game, you're going to let go of following the ancestors and write your autobiography of your dreamers there in the now. And that is where life will allow me to move in a better way. Because life is never going to be simple, and it's probably it will never be easy, and it'll never be simple, but it's going to be fun when you undo everything you know to open your eyes to the grandeur of life. Because life is an event of enterprising visionary epiphanies, naturally touring the beauty of life. But I asked myself this, how did I teach myself to look at the dark before I saw the light of life? And I really did teach myself and I taught myself to see the dark and go into the pessimistic way, because that's what I taught, and that's what my circle of influence showed me, and I picked up on it. See, your circle of influence, your parents and everybody involved, show you the way they live, and that is showing me that's how I taught myself to live. So now as I open up to see the inspirations and the intuitive innovations within myself, I move beyond that and expand and energize a new wave of wisdom, and just gamers gumption. That's what life is. It's called gamers gumption. It's having the gumption to get off the duff and onto the playing field to understand a player is a person living audacious yazzie jazz every day, realizing that event right in front of me in the now is where I expand. And I energize the new geysers of genius within myself. And it's opened up to a vocabulary of action. It makes you feel good, and it gives you some oomph from inside. And, it's I chime the rhyme of my sublime mind. I unbind the chains of yesterday, ordaining the grandeur of today, because all we experience is right now. Everything that we desire is occurring right now, and everything that ever happened in our life is occurring right now. But it's a bright now that opens up the way, because life is bright when I enlighten myself to see a better way and get off the bench and get off the practice field, because practice only prepares you to overthink. It really does. But getting into the game is just the fame and fortune everybody is desiring, because stop thinking fame and fortune and movie stars and all the people. What is your fame and fortune? It's because your fame is who you are, and you're fortunate enough to be who you are. That's fame and fortune. The people, the grassroots people, the blue collar or the hourly worker, everybody that's working in this world is a facilitator of wealth for other people and themselves. However, I taught myself, if I wasn't up there, I wasn't anywhere, and that's the fallacy of the fake and bake of the chattel, of the controlling chattel world, and that's just material stuff. Now that I've opened up to the inspiration, the innovation, and the wisdom of me from within, I express it to the world, and I know, and I understand it's different, and I understand this, but I'm showing people the way I expanded my life, And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's the way I expand. And some people are going to like it. Some people aren't going to like it. But here's the thing. There's something in there that's going to tweak something that is locked and blocked within you to open up a new pathway of prosperity from within. And prosperity is wisdom, innovation, talent. It isn't always money. Money is an energy from having the will and the willpower to get off the bench and into the game of life, and to galvanize astute maturity, expanding, lionized, innovative, fervor, epiphanies for the world to expand. And that is where it comes from us. The people on this show, we all encompass a talent that will allow the world to get out of the ancestral anchors and into the now of our natural omnific wealth that's within us. Wisdom is wealth and is a supplier of everything for people to expand. Something I come up with today is I stopped being a giver to being a supplier of substance, surpluses, wealth, success through the wisdom I express. Because we're all looking for the material wealth rather than the inspirational wealth of the world. And inspiration will always overcome thinking, because inspiration is the feeling and emotion of energized wise from within ourselves. And when we're in practice, we're in the assumption of life. We're in the game of life. We're in the outcome of life, and the one we desire to experience. And that is something about wealth, and that's something about getting off the bench and into the world. You get to feel the bliss from within. Because the bliss from within kisses our daily life, and people feel that, and they feel at ease around everybody around you, and then they open up and start hearing and listening for a better way to experience life. And that is a key little saying right there. No matter what's going on and how it's going, the little words are, is there a better way? Or am I open to experiencing a better way? It's taking the angst out of being locked in that little prison we put ourselves in, that we taught ourselves to be in, because we was afraid, and we locked things inside us that we thought were hurtful, or we thought that was ridiculed us from childhood. It's going through them feelings and emotions in childhood where we stayed on the bench and we stayed off to the side because we didn't want chiding from others. Those who chide hide. Those who they're chiding ride the reading across, and ride the reading, pass and go, collecting all they desire in a bold, bright way. And I want to thank everybody for being on the show. John, Joanne, Jacqueline, Cody, and Sheila for being on the show. And I'll be here next Tuesday night. And I'm open to what's going to happen, because something new will happen between now and then to expand the world. And I am a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, timeline coach, published author. My website is mycowboywisdom.com. My books are available at howdiditeachmyselffear.com and at amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And my books are written in first person and unpunctuated, just like life, because life is me, myself, and I to fly, to expand the world. Unpunctuated, because punctuation, I started that, I realized punctuation controlled how I did things or how I thought. And when I did that, I opened up to expand of wisdom rather than what other people wanted me to know. And that is They're got a capital letter and 3 dots because life is continuous. And it's just like a game with no whistles and no time clock. It's endless. It's endless bliss when we play a game of life we desire to experience. I want to thank everybody and say good night. And everybody enjoy a wonderful summer weekend.